Hey, this is Alex Abrahantes from Superkick, the greatest Lucha Libre experience in the world. And you're listening to the PBR podcast.
Hit it! Sophisticated
podcast fish. Now tell me something good. Oh yeah.
What's up, everybody? PBR Podcast, Mike Polano, Derek D, Frankie sitting in, and we have a very special guest from Superkick Lucha Libre Wrestling. Can I say wrestling at the end?
You can, why not?
I just did it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Alex Abrahantes!
Hey!
And I said the name right.
Did you say name right?
Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Very good.
That was an awesome intro, by the way.
Alex's.
And especially when someone who could speak Spanish the correct way, like says Spanish words, it sounds so good. You were like talking, and then you're like lucha libre, like you said it was so like perfect.
Alex, you're I guess the manager or promoter for Superkick Lucha Libre?
Yeah, I'm the co-creator and booker, for lack of a better term, which means I book the shows.
Do you get in a ring?
Sometimes.
Are you like Mean Gene? Do you do the
I have a little bit more hair than Mean Gene, but yeah, I guess you could say that.
Do you have that kind of character? Is it that kind of show?
Yeah, it is. It's extremely theatrical, more so than anything that you've seen on TV. And I do have a character on the show. We can kind of talk about, I guess, about the overall story arc, but I play the third generation promoter on the show. So I'm kind of like the son of Vince McMahon almost.
Okay.
So it's more of like, I mean, there are people, obviously there's people wrestling, but it's more of like a storyline that you follow and you're watching a play, if you will.
That's just it. So it's different in the fact that when you're going to see the show, it's like going to see something on Broadway or off Broadway. You're going to see a production. And within that production, you have Lucha Libre, Mexican style
So
wrestling.
you just said it again. It's awesome. All right, sorry, keep going.
Yeah.
Are you going to make them start saying Spanish words?
I kind of want
could.
to.
See?
Like, can you say like what's a good one? Empanada is not good. What's like a good food? Like give me like if you're gonna order something at La Tapatía tonight, what are you gonna order?
La Tapatía. Well, let's see. Si me puedes dar unos burritos, por favor. Me gusta con mucho guacamole y salsa también un poco de, no sé, un poco picante, por favor.
So a little bit of salsa?
Yeah. I got some guac. I got some salsa. I got a little bit of hot sauce in there. I'm good to go.
Yeah,
I like it. Do you know? Are you familiar? Well, real quick, I think we should point out that Superkick is Lucha Libre Wrestling. I guess for listeners, if I had to tie anything to your brain right now that would compare to it, it would be Jack Black in Nacho Libre, like that kind, right?
Yeah.
Mexican masks.
Yep.
I shouldn't call them Mexican masks. I should call them Lucha Libre masks.
Yeah.
What's the actual term?
Well, it is. It's Lucha Libre. It stands for free fight. That's the literal translation. But it is Mexican mass wrestling because it originated in Mexico. And the story behind it is that back in the day, professionals like doctors and lawyers and accountants, they would be weekend warriors. They would put on the mask so that, your clients, the people that you're drilling into their teeth
Who
during
might
the week,
be in the audience.
who are going to be in the audience, right? Don't recognize that it's you. So that's how it came to be. And then they would decorate the mask to evoke the powers of the Aztec gods. And that's why they became colorful. And then it really just kind of opened up from there. So that's what lucha really is. It's a real high-flying style of wrestling.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like, really like flying off the top rope, like Superfly Jimmy, like Superfly Snuka. Like he was all over the place.
That's more pro wrestling. So lucha would be more like Rey Mysterio Jr., guys like that who really, you somersaults, dives off the top rope, through the ropes, outside, just nonstop action. That's really what lucha is.
It's more like, I don't want to say gymnastic, but it's like there's that element
athleticism.
of it in there.
Athleticism. Yeah, absolutely.
Are you familiar with the film? It's an indie film that just came out a couple years ago called Some Guys Are Bigger Than Others.
No.
You got to see
Are
it.
you sure that's a G or PG movie?
It's not a porno, I promise.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
A good friend of mine directed it, Jeff Sellis. Some Guys Are Bigger Than Others. We actually podcasted from the premiere of this movie. Brian Quinn makes a cameo in it.
Oh, cool.
In Practical Jokers.
Yeah.
Casey Jost is in it. Tim Duffy, a bunch of people. But it's about it's about Lucha Libre wrestling in a sense, but also has a very Morrissey flair. Are you aware of the love and devotion of the Mexican people and Morrissey?
No, I didn't know there was a connection there.
He might be the largest celebrity and recording artist in Mexico.
Wow, you learn something new every day.
Are you of Mexican descent or
No, my parents are Cuban.
So you're Cuban.
Yeah.
So this movie's about the Lucha Libre as well. It's anyway. You gotta check it out. Some
I will
guys are
definitely
bigger
check
than
that
others.
out. That's great. Where's that available?
Online somewhere. I don't know.
Probably Vimeo
Frankie,
or
do you know
something?
where that? Yeah. Do you know where if that ever made? It's in the festival circuit right now.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, pretty cool.
Very cool.
I think the dude, one of the guys in it, Tim Duffy, has the Morrissey shirt on. He loves Morrissey, and he ends up wrestling in a Lucha Libre. So.
Nice.
Very cool.
So tell us about Superkick is coming to Asbury Park, House of Independence. You're going to hear this episode. You're listening to it on Monday. You're going to be there on Saturday, the
16th.
16th of April.
Yep.
All right. So
And
tell
then
us.
there's another date in May, right?
Yep, May 7th.
Oh, so is it going to be an ongoing thing?
It is an ongoing thing. Here's a really cool thing. Every time you go, it's a completely different experience. So it's not like you're going to see the same play over and over and over.
Oh, that's
It's building, right? Storylines.
Exactly. Every time you go, it's completely different. So the overall storyline, you have a sense for it if you go back and you understand the characters, but things are always changing. There's new chapters, if you will, within that story. So there's always a reason to go back.
So what you're saying is that there's time, like Derek and I can essentially come and challenge somebody on the microphone and just maybe just challenge somebody and piss somebody off. And then in May, we enter the ring.
Oh,
It could be
well,
right in.
all right. I like the seeds that you're planting there.
I mean, I don't know if you look at us, but we are two intimidating human beings.
Yeah.
I
we
was
could
intimidated
really-
when I walked in here. I was
Right?
like, I almost turned around.
Combined, we're almost 6 foot. You know
Well,
what
that's
I mean?
all right. That's all right. You should see some of our guys. They're
Who's
not
your
that tall.
largest? Who are your? We want to fight your largest, your biggest, and your best.
Who are you talking about? Like,
You're
why-
not bullshitting. What do you just shut up, Derek? Follow my lead.
Oh,
we
boy.
want to get in that ring.
Yeah.
No masks. We're coming in like America.
America.
Oh,
no
boy.
masks. Just our singlets
Just fists?
with our logo on it. And we're gonna whoop the shit out of who are your best two wrestlers? We want them. I want the Hulk Hogan and the Andre the Giant of Superkick. I'm not
Really?
playing around.
Okay.
Don't give me the guy with the bullhorn that comes in every fourth show and just kind of talk shit. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Are you with me? I feel
guess-
like you're not with me.
Well, you know what?
I'm throwing down the gauntlet, Derek.
I know. Well, listen. How about what if I'm your manager?
You don't want a tag team.
Now,
You want to manage me?
I don't.
You're letting me down.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. I'm in.
You talk all this flag football. I'm so fast.
I don't say.
You say all this. DerekD.com.
I always say it. I go around. I really go around. Alex just telling people how fast I am. You know.
Well, that's impressive.
What do you think? I see you licking your chops. over
Yeah,
there.
I think there could be a tag team match in your future.
This sounds exciting.
Yeah,
right?
but I wouldn't tell you who the opponents are because that wouldn't be any fun.
Oh, so how like all right, write us in, Alex. You're writing us in right now.
All right.
The show happens on Saturday.
Are we just call PBR? We call like PBR something like PBR.
No, we're coming in. We're not Prince in the Revolution. We're Pizza Beer Revolution. I might even enter that ring. You're eating a slice of pizza, and I got a
I
club
like
one.
it. I like it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of a
I
good
see
idea.
sponsorship potential.
Right?
I'm just putting that out there.
I'll get the local Asbury Park Brewery to sponsor. You know, we'll have PBR in the front of our singlet and Asbury Park Brew on the back.
Can we wear wigs?
Johnny'sPizzeria.com. We have a sponsor on the
ya?
show. Yeah, Johnny's Pizzeria.
Well, they're gonna have to enter the ring with you guys. I
That's-
like it.
Oh, and one of our taglines could be "Slice up your mouth."
Slice up your mouth.
Give me a name of a Lucha Libre you have.
Right now?
Yeah.
Torpedo.
Torpedo?
Torpedo.
I'm gonna slice up your mouth.
With our Gianni's pizza. First, I'm gonna body slam you, and then Mike's gonna
Slice up your mouth.
slice up your mouth.
Nice.
I think we play it cool though, man. I don't know if we come in aggressive, like, oh Jesus, I just unplugged my headphone. I think we come in cool. Like we don't come in aggressive. Like we build.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it's about. You got to build. Yeah, you can't go 110 miles an hour right off the bat because then there's nowhere to go.
No.
And Alex would know. You've been, you've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
Were you always into wrestling? Were you always just like?
Oh,
just-
yeah.
It was like your main.
It's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
People said I was too small. I'd never do it. So I spent my whole life savings and I went up to Calgary, Alberta, Canada to get trained by Bret the Hitman Hart's family.
Oh, nice.
Family
Nice.
Dungeon. Yeah. And then I came back and started wrestling around and started my own company and then got a job at WWE and bounced around. I went to TNA Wrestling, and then I'm working for ROH Wrestling now as their Spanish commentator. And Lucha Libre USA, I was asked to be the head writer of a show on MTV2 there, and then I eventually transitioned to the vice president of the company, and we ran shows all across the country. And
sweet.
We created this spin-off brand specifically for Asbury Park because our demographic there is a lot different than the demographic that we normally play to across the country. So that's how Superkick kind of was born.
When you were at the WWE, did you happen to cross paths with David Kreisman?
Doesn't ring a bell.
No, he was the head writer. He was the head writer for WWE during SummerSlam. What year, Frank?
I don't know the year. Sorry.
He was a guest on our show.
Oh, cool.
Well, I found it really interesting because David, he's an Emmy award-winning writer for Days of Our Lives, and what did he win the Emmy for?
All My Children.
All My Children.
All
But
My
he wrote
Children
for
and
Really?
WWE.
Yeah, so he transitioned from daytime soaps to the WWE.
That's
and he
interesting.
wrote. He came in and wrote to the SummerSlam, and I think he just did a short stint there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He went
I did
back and forth a little bit because he was with
Yeah?
Guiding Light too. So it was like
Guiding Light? I did the opposite. I went from WWE to One Life to Live.
Oh, right.
Really?
Yeah, but I was an actor on the show.
Oh, okay.
I was on One Life to Live, and I did like an episode or two of Guiding Light.
It's very similar, right?
wow.
Yeah.
It's the same tone.
It is. It's a total soap opera. You know, it's a male, dominated soap opera, but it's got sports combined in it.
Right.
And that's really what it is. And that's what makes it so exciting and fun, in my opinion.
You gotta you put it aside, right? I mean, like back in the '80s, and we've talked about it. We've had a lot of wrestling people on, like fans and David Kreisman, and we've always go back to the glory days of it in my world, right? Because I'm 40, so I remember when it was huge when Hulk Hogan and you had good guys versus bad guys,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So that doesn't really exist so much anymore in the story. It was very divided.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
was black
Yeah.
and white.
And it was always it was always like who was America fighting at the time?
Always.
right?
Yeah.
So you had
It's like we almost wanted to go to war to come up with wrestling storylines.
What was
Yeah.
the Russian guy, the big guy?
Nikolai
Nikolai
Volkov.
Volkov.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then there was the Iron Sheik, right?
Yep.
So you had that contingent. You know what you never did have though, and maybe I'm just missing it, but you never had like the Asian, like the Vietnamese character.
Yeah,
you know
good
what I mean?
point.
You had like Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and
You
but
had
they
a
weren't-
little bit, but nothing to the extent of you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that like they've kind of gone away from that in WWE? Like you still have good guys and bad guys per se, but you don't have the equal divide. Is that similar? Even though you're more theatrical, do you have that defined line?
We do, because in lucha, you've got the rudos, which are the bad guys, and you've got the técnicos, which are the good guys. So it's a little bit more defined in the world of lucha. And for us, what we're really trying to do is kind of reinvent the genre, because we don't want to follow that same type of formula. WWE's phenomenal, right? They've got their own thing. They've done it for years. They are, the mountaintop, right? Then you've got these other companies who try to be WWE, they put their own spin on it, and that's totally fine. We're not trying to be that at all. We're trying to create something new, something fun, and not just for wrestling fans. And that's what why Superkick is so different. We're catering to a demographic that wants to go out on a Saturday night and have a fun time and be entertained and be a part of the show. And our fans are going to be more a part of the show than any other wrestling show that has ever been put out there.
That's cool, and
Yeah.
it's different in the sense of like it's more WWE and all that. It's theatrical. It's a guy soap opera, but it's more of like I don't want to call it a play, but it's more
Yeah.
of a storyline that you're seeing, the arc and everything. But there's also wrestling, which is really cool. And,
Exactly.
and athleticism, dudes flying around, and yeah, that's pretty awesome. One of the things I really like though about wrestling, and people know, okay, it's fake, it's not real, is that like The Rock can go and do his thing and then
Yeah.
come back, and you immediately accept him back as his character, The Rock, not Dwayne.
Exactly.
It's not like, oh, this is fake. Everyone just accepts it. So that's one of the really cool things I think about wrestling.
Do you have an issue? Like, are you going to be upset? I mean, I don't know if upset's the right word, but when Donald Trump becomes president, because he's going to, he has to for the show, and you'll realize why in a minute. But when Donald Trump builds a wall around House of Independence, how are the Lucha Libre going to get in there? Dom, what are you going to do?
That's a very topical question.
Come on,
Listen, let me tell you something, okay? Mike, you're an idiot, number one. Number two, okay? None of those guys are coming in, all right? First thing I'm doing, this Alex guy, out of here. You're leaving too.
I thought Alex was going to have to pay for it.
No, back to Cuba, okay? Listen, here's the deal. Yeah, it's going to be a huge wall. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be just called Trump wall of it all. Okay, the
Trump wall of it all?
Yeah,
amazing.
Right around the House of Into Pricks.
The House of Independence.
What's it called?
Independence.
You're an idiot.
So, I mean,
amazing.
So, Alex, it's going to be bad if Don does, but there is that chance that Bernie,
Yeah.
I mean, if Bernie gets it, then you're going to have more Lucha Libre than you know what to do with, right, Bern?
Gotta tell you that
So bad.
it's not that bad.
It's bad.
It's
It's pretty bad.
It's not that bad. What will be bad if I end up in the wrestling ring? Will be bad. But we're gonna put everyone in because everyone gets a shot.
Everybody's got, right?
Because everyone
Because
is.
you're a communist.
Everyone.
Socialist, whatever. Same
Yeah.
thing.
Everybody gets a chance, and everyone's getting 3 cents.
Don, you think that's okay?
No. You kidding me? This Bernie guy, I'd burn him literally on fire. I'd build a wall of sticks, put Bernie on it, burn it, fire, dead.
Well,
Whatever.
at least Bruce Springsteen's going to be there because he likes to come to Asbury Park, right, Bruce?
We're on the
Oh, geez. One line he got. One line.
streets of the Jersey Shore.
You got to work on Bernie. I'm serious. I'm not going to be able to do it anymore.
Bernie's like that. He does that thing with his hands, and he talks like this a little bit. It's more like hey, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a Jew. That's it. I'm a Jewish guy from Brooklyn. It's like something like that.
All right. I'll give it to you.
You
Very
try.
Larry David.
Larry
Very
David.
Larry David does a great.
He does
He
a
does.
great Bernie.
He also
just
kinda
playing
looks like
himself.
him.
I
Yeah,
love him.
He's just playing
But
himself.
yeah. So yeah.
All right, so I'm an unsuspecting fan. I'm coming to the show. What do I expect? Is there audience participation? Is there going to be fireworks? Are we going to burn this house down?
Well,
Is
we
there some
might.
pyrotechnics?
We might.
Okay.
So it's going to be incredible. So the moment you walk in, I don't want to spoil anything. It's almost so hard to talk about it and not spoil because we have so many cool surprises. We like to say expect the unexpected because in reality, you never know when someone might be a wrestler around you. You never know when someone's entrance might include you, when there's something that they do that calls for audience participation. And I will tell you, one of the most things that I'm excited about is the entrances. They're going to be so elaborate and so different than anything that you've seen.
Cool.
So, sometimes you see wrestlers just kind of walk into the ring and, no, this is theatrical stuff. It's going to be awesome.
So I'm very familiar with the House of Independence and the layout. Is it so? Will the seating be out?
No, we'll have the
Okay.
ring on the floor. And the cool thing is we have a 6-sided ring, which is very traditional lucha.
Six-sided.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Ropes, octagon, cage.
It's a hexagon.
But
so
is
He
it
just said
ropes?
6-sided.
No,
Yeah.
I'm asking what encloses it? Ropes or
Yep. It's a wrestling ring that's 6-sided.
Okay.
So you've got 6 posts and 6 turnbuckles.
How many lines of rope?
Well, 6 because it goes around.
No, top to bottom.
Oh, 3. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm trying to picture it in my head. Like,
So think of just a regular square ring,
Yeah.
but then with 2 additional posts
and boxing,
just 6 sides.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're gonna have it on the floor, and then we've got a stage. And here's the really cool thing about the stage. So you know how when you're watching wrestling, you got backstage segments and things that happen backstage,
Yeah.
and you watch it on the monitor. This is theater. So everything happens on the stage.
Oh, sweet.
So it's going to be live to the audience. It's just like you're watching a play unfold, between your very eyes, and then obviously the action will culminate inside of the ring.
I like it.
That's very cool.
Do you have commentary?
So people will be
Yeah.
standing around it, or the seating around
So
it?
there's going to be seating. So there's two tiers. It's a $50 ticket, which gets you ringside seats, and then the $30 ticket is GA, and I believe it's standing. I have to check with House of Independence. I think it's standing, but the $50 ticket also gets you a VIP autograph session at the end of the show. And in reality, those folks who are in the VIP sections are really the ones that are going to take advantage most of the audience interaction.
Because they'll be right there.
Exactly.
So your talk to me about your
yeah.
commentators.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the cool thing. We're going to have live commentary to the house, which is not something that when you go to a live event, you actually see. If you've ever gone to a regular, wrestling show that you're not watching on TV where you're live there,
Sure.
you miss out a lot because the commentators are telling you the story. And that's part of what makes wrestling so exciting. When you're watching at home, you have the commentators saying, oh my God, this just happened, or
Yeah.
remember last week when this occurred. Well, now we're going to have commentators going live over the house,
Right.
telling you the story of these characters and what's going on and really getting you involved. So it's going to add that extra element and really give you that sense of, oh, I feel like I'm watching TV, but I'm here. And, it's just going to be a sensory overload with everything that's going on.
How many wrestlers are in the show?
So we've got 5 matches, and every match has something important. So it's not just, and I go back to some other wrestling shows where they just book matches just to book matches and fill matches. No, every match has a purpose. Every wrestler has a character or a gimmick and a meaning and something that is going to leave the audience with an impression.
Oh, cool.
So by the time everybody leaves, they're going to remember all those characters specifically.
So is there, like you were saying, there's obviously it's a storyline and everything. And,
Yeah.
Is each match building up to the championship? Is there will someone leave with like a? I don't want to. You don't have to give
Yeah.
away. But they're the champion.
So think about it this way. Every match, I like to look at it as a chapter within that story that we're telling.
Okay.
So it evolves the main storyline and I can tell you the main storyline. The main storyline is this 3rd generation promoter who basically broke away from his father's shadow.
And that's you.
Yeah. So his father runs the most successful pro wrestling company in the world, but he doesn't want to be a part of that because he loves Lucha Libre. He was raised essentially by a Hispanic nanny, and he would watch Lucha on TV, and he loved it.
Nice.
So his father hates Lucha because he doesn't think it has a place here, and he loves Lucha, so he left his father's organization to start his own, and that's where the conflict really begins.
Interesting. So it's already a show right there.
Yeah. Do your characters embody? Do they tie into current affair like the WWE used to do?
You mean like pop culture or topical events?
Do you have a terrorist lucha? You know what I mean?
No, but we could.
I mean, just makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Wrestling used to do that. They, not so much, but yeah, I figured you would have you got to have like a national, somebody for the Americans to tie onto, somebody for the Mexicans to tie onto.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of so much fun. These characters are so much fun. So we've created them to have real personality and ways that the audience is going to connect with them, either in a good way or a bad way. So one way or another, the characters are going to evoke this emotion out of the crowd. And I don't want to give too much away as to specifically what the characters are, but I can tell you that some of these characters are probably going to offend people in a fun, over the top, ridiculous way. But you have to go in this knowing that, listen, it's entertainment, and we're doing this to get a laugh and to create a reaction, not to, purposefully offend anyone. It's going to be fun. Everything's done, very lighthearted, and it's going to be a blast.
How big is there any chicks in it? Is there any women wrestlers?
Yeah. So what's cool about Lucha is that it's really a variety, and that's another thing that really differentiates Lucha from American pro wrestling. You've got the high flyers, you've got the heavyweights, you've got the girls, you've got the minis, you've got the exoticos.
Minis?
Yep.
Like
the little people?
Like Derek D?
Like the little people.
like Mike and me?
No, I'm taller than you.
Half it. No, you're not.
I'm like a foot taller than you.
Whatever.
Anyway.
That could be a mini. That could be considered a mini.
Wait, so how many people are in the?
You broke off of my rib.
I don't want to say cast, but how many? It sounds like a huge production.
Yeah, it is, and it's extremely specific. So each of these wrestlers was chosen for this particular role. So it's not like it's not like we're just bringing wrestlers off the street and anybody.
Yeah.
So you might see wrestlers who are kind of well known elsewhere
Like
in
PBR.
this. Exactly. Well, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I think you just did.
What I said earlier about your biggest and baddest, I changed my mind completely. I want to wrestle the minis.
Oh, all right. Well, we will
think it's so
take
funny.
that under
I
consideration.
think it's so funny that he calls them minis.
Well, that's what they are. In Lucha, we call them minis.
Oh, so that's,
Yeah, the mini
that's the
stars.
official term.
Yep.
How do you say mini in Spanish?
Mini.
Mini.
Oh,
Come on, bro. You don't know that?
Yeah, look at that. You learn something new every day.
Derek D.
.com.
I can't, listen, I can't wait. I got to be honest. I've had my tickets for some time. I will be in attendance.
I can't go next Saturday, but the May 7th.
You'll be in the ring on May 7th.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see it. I remember, I mean, I grew up here, so I'm trying to think back. I must have been, I want to say I was like somewhere between 10 and 13. My father took me to Convention Hall to see a very low level wrestling show, and at the time, Sergeant Slaughter he'd already been on like G.I. Joe and WWE, and he was like falling off his graces at this point. He was old, and he was in the show. And I remember Sergeant Slaughter calling I mean, there was probably nobody you ever heard of in this, and it was probably like an organization that, there were so many little ones. There probably still are from that mimicked WWF at the time, right?
Yeah.
And Sergeant Slaughter called every kid in the entire convention hall up into the ring and had everybody salute the flag and sing the national anthem.
That's awesome.
I'll never forget that, man.
That's incredible.
Plus, I was like, I loved G.I. Joe, and he became a G.I. Joe character.
Oh, yeah.
They actually wrote him.
I
into
remember
the
those
show.
days, yeah.
And that was like one of the most amazing experiences, man. And like, is that something that your show will do for young audience? Is it for a young audience?
I like to say it's more PG-13 because if you think about the demographic over there, it's more millennials, it's more hipsters, and that's really why we're trying to broaden this. So kids can go, but they have to be aware that there might be some somewhat adult topics at times.
There will be beards popping out of these masks and slicked hair.
Well,
and mead being drank.
I feel like there's.
You never know.
I feel like kids nowadays though, like
Tight
it's just-
jeans.
They're like, yeah, I've seen that before. Like PG-13, it's just like it'd be fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
maybe
gonna
not
be okay.
maybe not for a 5-year-old, but like 10-year-old,
6-year-old.
The thing I always thought was funny about wrestling is, but it's not like this anymore. But back in the day, it'd be like you're watching. I don't know I forget what it was called when I was a kid, but it's like. Hulk Hogan versus Jack Smith, and like the guy that would just be like
Throw it.
no muscle definition, just
Yep.
get destroyed.
Exactly.
Like what did that guy? That guy, what did he get paid? Like But
Well,
now
there-
it's this all huge superstar versus huge superstar.
that's not true, D. And what you're
You remember that though?
no, but what you're
yeah.
what you're missing is that there are two different types of shows. This is 60%. Sidney Lesperance,
Cha-ching.
our fact checker, fact check me on this, but I believe Monday Night Raw is one of these.
Yeah, but was it always
No,
Raw?
listen, let me finish. They have national shows, right? So when you buy tickets to an event, it'll state that it's a nationally televised show. Those shows have like Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. If you buy tickets to the Prudential Center on like a random Tuesday night and it's not a national televised show, you'll see all the under guys wrestling each other. That's only the big names wrestle on the big TV events, right? Is that
So we have there's two different things. So you're right. We've got
How
the
long were
TV
you
shows.
with WWE then? I guess.
Yeah, so I was with WWE back in 2001. Then let's see, I was with TNA back in, 2007, something like that. And then I took a break between that to start the company that we were talking about earlier.
would you say I was about 60% accurate on what I just said?
Well, here's the thing. So with the house shows, those are called house shows
Yeah,
that are
oh,
non-televised, right? They're shows for the house. So you will have guys that necessarily aren't, top tier, guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, for example, at the top. Although actually that's a bad example because Steve Austin did the house shows. But like Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar doesn't work all of the house shows, right? He's a huge name, and he mostly just works the TV, the TV
Most
tapings
of those guys,
or the live
like
shows.
The Rock and
Yeah,
the
exactly. So-
Undertaker and those guys.
Yeah, so what you'll have is the house show is an opportunity for guys who are coming up to wrestle in front of a live crowd and get the experience. But it's really a combination. They're not just going to put all the new guys on it because at the end of the day, they want to sell tickets. So you are going to give a break to those guys just to give them that experience in front of a live house.
Yeah, you'll let them lose to The Rock.
But it was
right.
But these guys that he's talking about and that you're talking about, like nowadays, are jacked, in shape, and can wrestle.
Yeah.
These dudes back then, you remember, he was like a dude in like a Speedo.
Yeah.
Like
He was like
almost
the high
flabby.
school gym teacher.
Yeah.
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 And it was always just a regular name.
But they had they had gimmicks like you'd never see. Like George the Animal Steel, who used to eat the turnbuckles, is the guy you're talking. Hairy back, bald,
Yeah,
like
but he-
fat as shit.
he then
but he used
became-
to eat the turnbuckle.
But he
man.
then became a guy. He was like a guy.
Yeah, he was big.
Yeah.
yeah,
George Steele was
but he was
big.
not in shape. He wasn't like a
Right.
ultimate
Yeah, but-
warrior.
I'm talking about like your mailman. Like that is the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like Frank. Frank Smith. You remember that?
Yeah.
And they would just get destroyed. Like I feel like they would just walk in the street. They're like,
You
"Hey,
gotta have those dudes. though.
Yeah, they're
I
called
miss that. Is what I'm saying. I bring that back.
Yeah, they're called enhancement talent.
Is that what they are?
That's what they are, yeah. They enhance the talent.
Has an enhancement talent ever rose to the top?
Oh yeah. It's happened. They've for whatever reason caught the attention of the crowd, and all of a sudden the crowd gets behind them, and before you know it, then they get a big break, and they're, actually.
Frank Smith. Frank Smith.
Man. Rain, sleet, or snow. Drop that elbow. Right? That's
good.
I don't know.
It happens. It does.
Who are you going to say? You were going to draw an example.
Well, I was thinking, it's interesting. So when The Rock first broke on the scene, they really wanted him to be big, but the crowd hated him.
Well,
they just
not as
hated
The
him.
Rock, though. He was the Samoan. He was the wild Samoan, right?
He came out as Rocky Maivia,
Rocky
which was
Maivia,
a
yeah.
combination of his father's name and his grandfather's name, and the crowd just hated him.
Yeah.
Hated him with a passion. And then they realized that, he's getting so much hate. Right?
Yeah.
It's not working out as a good guy, as a baby face, as we call. So then they started to turn him, and that's what really created The Rock.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting what the crowd can do for you.
What they started to turn on him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was nuclear. Like, they had die Rocky die chants and signs, and he was
But
just
that's
trying
great.
to be a good guy. Yeah, well, at first, it's not really great when you're trying to be a good guy and you're trying to get the crowd to like you. That's like a bad reaction. But then, when you get so much of that, you have no choice but to make a character choice with the wrestler, and it was the greatest thing that could ever happen.
Yeah,
He
he
becomes the people's champion.
I mean,
That
and
was
then
it.
he did those. He came up with those one-liners. Like, that was all him. I'm sure. Like, you're Rudy Poo candy ass.
if you smell what The Rock is cooking, like
If you
he's-
smell, and then the people's eyebrow.
a
the
lot of
people's
that's got to
elbow.
be his natural comedic flair, though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
is there like? Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, I think The Rock is great, acting wise and as a wrestler. But is there like writers that like sit down and be like, okay, you're gonna come up with the people's elbow. That's gonna be your move. Or was that all him? Like,
No. So I was on that team.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
you were.
That's what I did, yeah. So, yeah, it's basically a writing team because at the end of the day, you need to have people put the show together. It's a TV show, which means you follow a format.
Yeah.
So you have to know, okay, this segment is going to be 13 minutes. This segment's going to be whatever. And then you have to figure out, all right, this character, let's do this with them. And you know what? That character, he's not really good for this, but did you see that he can do that? And that's really what character building is.
Yeah.
And that's going back to kind of Superkick. That's what we're doing. We're saying, this one wrestler, he's got this comedic flair. So
Yeah.
this is the
Tie
character
into
that
it.
we're going to build for him and we're going to create. And then at the end of the day, what you do is that's what's great about wrestling. You get instant feedback. You can tell, does the crowd like it? Do they not like it?
Yeah.
If they don't like it, then you're like, all right, we got to switch gears and do something else. But if they do, then you're like, all right, how can we build on this? And that's where it starts to get exciting.
That's so cool. I always pictured like after behind the scenes, like these two guys, the characters, they hated each other, and then they go in the back like, oh man, you really got me on that
Dude,
one.
the
that
best-
one elbow, you really.
The best example of that ever is when Rocky, I think it's Rocky 3, when he wrestles or fights Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And Hulk Hogan's trying to literally murder him, and then it's over, and he's like, hey, you want to get pictures with the kids and go to dinner? Right?
Yeah.
You're too young.
I've seen all the Rockies. I can't say I remember that exact part, but I've seen that one.
You're a fan of The Rock, right?
Yeah.
I really love those promos that you two do together for the MTV Music Awards.
I would love to be as big as Kevin Hart. Well, I'm taller.
I know.
I'm taller.
I know. Exactly.
I meant,
Whoa, are you stuttering? I muted his microphone. We're just gonna go out on that note. Alex, that music you're hearing right now indicates a little game.
Industry-wise.
we like to play. It's called top or bottom. I'm gonna give you two terms. You're gonna tell me if these two things were in a relationship, which one would be on the top, which one would be on the bottom. It's tailored to you. We're gonna round table it. So we're gonna start with you. You ready to go?
All right.
Top or bottom, number one, Nacho Libre or Lucha Libre?
Oh. So I have to choose which one is on the top and which one's on the bottom?
That's how the game's played.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go with Lucha Libre is on top and Nacho Libre is on bottom, and I'll tell you why. Lucha Libre has the longevity. Nacho Libre was hot for a split second.
Yeah.
Everyone still knows it, but Lucha's still going strong. So
What is the
top
difference?
goes to Lucha Libre.
Nacho Libre is a movie about Lucha Libre.
Oh, no, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
thought maybe it was. Okay, I get that.
Frank, you want to play?
It's a fun movie. You got to check it out.
Yeah, Frankie, go ahead. You're on.
No, I've seen it. I didn't know if it was. I don't know if it was something that like that's a like Nacho Libre isn't just a movie. It's like
It's a movie
form
about Lucha.
of
No.
yeah yeah.
Hold on. Hey, Frankie's turn.
Oh, Frank is going. Oh.
Yes, of course, Lucha Libre. On behalf of Alex.
Thank you.
I support our guest always.
There you go, Derek.
I'm gonna try to say it like Lucha Libre over Nacho Libre.
Lucha Libre. Lucha Libre.
How's that sound? Does that sound authentic?
It's close enough.
You know, man, every time I try to talk, I just end up being like from Scarface, man. You know, you want to talk to me like that, okay, man?
Yeah.
I become like a Puerto Rican street.
Is that your
Mafia.
only? That's like Mike's only accent.
I think we found his gimmick.
Yeah.
May 7th.
I want to be.
Oh, May 7th.
Man, listen, I am in. Listen, what's your Twitter handle?
Our Twitter handle is just Superkick It.
At Just Superkick It. I want all of the PBR posse to tweet at Just Superkick It, telling them how that you want Derek and I in that ring, or at least me in the ring with my manager Derek.
At just super kick it.
Yeah.
Right. Sweet.
All right, so let's see what that happens. Lucha Libre on top. Number 2, top or bottom, the clothesline or the top row elbow drop.
Is this you, Frankie?
No, we always start with you.
Oh, you start. Oh, wow, man, that's a tough one. I was hoping I'd have a second. That's a tough one. I'm gonna go with clothesline on top and elbow drop off the top on bottom, and I'll tell you why. Because the clothesline is much easier to execute than the elbow off the top.
Anybody could do the clothesline.
Anybody, right? You could kill
swing
yourself going off the top.
Swing
rope.
your buddy into the rope. You
No.
bounce off the other side. You put the forearm shimmy in there.
That's it. You can clothesline somebody at the grocery store if they're going after something you want. It's so easy.
On May 7th, May 7th?
May 7th.
May 7th. On May 7th, if Derek is going to go off the top rope, we're going to need a step stool.
I think that could be arranged.
We got to get him up there. You know
I
what
think
mean?
we can do that.
It's
House of
not-
Independence has a lot of different.
They got
things
like
we
a
can
dumb
use.
waiter or a lift.
Yeah, we
Maybe-
might have a couple people help
Sure,
them spot
sure.
them. We can get spotters.
That's how you get the crowd involved, right?
Yes.
Come on.
I love how Mike always talks about he's so much taller
like
than me.
6'2", bro.
Yeah. But we're gonna need I gotta think of some.
Frankie, top or bottom? Come on, clothesline or top rope elbow drop?
So, you think everybody can do the clothesline?
Oh yeah, you can do the clothesline.
You think so?
Absolutely.
I'm a novice at this, but you know what? I like that it's universal and that everybody can do it. And I
yeah.
take the clothesline on top.
I'm gonna go top rope elbow drop because as a viewer, I want to see like the theatrics of like flying through the air and dropping the elbow or the leg drop, whatever it is, over the But the clothesline, that is a staple.
Top row elbow drop,
Yeah.
hands down. One of my all-time favorite was Jimmy Superfly.
Hold on, are you saying row or rope?
rope?
You were saying row. You're like top row elbow.
I'm
drop.
tongue-tied. Stop picking on the disabled, man.
What a
I
dummy.
mean? Like, who does that? It's
yes.
2016.
I
It's
know.
called bullying, right?
It is. Actually,
Wait till we
yeah.
get in the ring.
Oh,
Maybe that's our gimmick.
that sounds like a challenge.
Right? Like maybe one of the Lucha. I don't mean to write your show, but I could see Derek D. Eating some popcorn, sitting with his nephew, and one of the Lucha Libre starts to pick on Derek because he's little, right?
Oh.
And then I'm like, no bullying, and like
I like it.
and then that's how I end up in the ring, and you're my manager. We get a lift, we throw you up there. I don't know. I'm not.
Well, you'll be on that lift with me.
Listen, I don't have any Emmys.
I don't either.
So Jimmy Superfly Snuka, I loved. So top rope, but I think he's been outdone with this dude in the WWE now. That's
Mysterio?
like jumping 25 feet, like 2 stories high. He's the son.
Oh, Shane McMahon.
Yeah, he's like jumping off of everything.
Yeah, off
Wait,
the Hell in a
Shane
Cell.
McMahon is?
Yeah, WrestleMania.
How high did he just jump?
I don't know, but it was definitely at least 20 feet up in the air. It was,
Big Jim Sports is
It's
yelling
had
at
to
the
be
radio
more
right
than
now how exactly how high it was.
It was insane.
I saw like something on Raw that I need to start watching wrestling again because I've always enjoyed it. But yeah, I saw something with he came out and he was like limping the next day. It was Monday Night Raw. Was after
Right. Yep.
And so that's what he was.
Dude, he jumps insane heights.
It was he jumped from the top of the cage, and this isn't a normal cage, right? And literally, dives onto a table. Undertaker moves and just completely wipes out. It's pretty impressive.
Now, you're from behind the scenes. Like, it's always onto a table. I get it. It's a breakaway table. I get it. How much, breakaway does that really give you?
Still has to hurt like hell.
You can plan for everything, but at the end of the day, you were jumping from a super high height onto just anything.
Are we talking like 30 feet?
It probably was.
That's-
My math isn't good when it comes to height, but I can tell you it's definitely more than 20 feet.
That's 2
So it could
stories.
be.
It's dangerous.
It is
It's a
incredible.
very dangerous sport.
It is. You
People-
can plan all you want, but the reality of the situation is when you
Wilson.
do it.
Not Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
Owen
Hart?
Owen Wilson. What am I saying? Yeah, but Owen Hart.
Yeah.
That was super tragic. He was about that high. He was up there.
He was
he
higher
s-
than that, yeah.
He slipped and fell though, right? Like,
No, he was going to rappel down, and his gear malfunctioned. Unfortunately,
Was it during a live show?
it was. Yeah, it was live
On TV?
pay-per-view in Kansas City.
What?
Yeah,
That was a while ago.
it was
Yeah.
awful.
Right?
Yeah.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't there. I was actually I was in Vegas traveling through the airport, and I missed it. My uncle's wedding was that same day, and I looked over and I saw the newspaper, and I couldn't believe it. I had met Owen a couple years ago because again I trained at his family's school.
Yeah.
And just absolutely horrible. Great
terrible.
guy, an amazing performer, and it was just super tragic.
Is Bret Hart still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bret Hart's still alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they would bring some of those dudes back. Where's the lovely and talented Elizabeth? Is Mean Gene? He might still be around. Like
Mean Gene is, unfortunately, Elizabeth passed
Yeah,
a
she
couple
passed
years
away
ago.
too.
Passed?
Yeah, Macho
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
Macho Man, but like I
Yeah,
don't know.
they both did.
Top or bottom, number 4, Minnie or Derek D?
Oh, come on now.
I don't know who wrote that.
Mike wrote that.
Dennis
Yeah.
the intern wrote that one.
I'm sorry. I got to go with the mini. Sorry.
Ah, jeez.
Yeah, it's for obvious reasons. I just got to support the lucha world.
Frankie,
Come on. Derek D, always.
Hey.
Come on.
what do you think Derek's gonna say? Everybody,
I'm gonna say, of course, me.
right? Because Derek D loves.
But
Derek.
I would, but I'd go Mini over Mike Polano.
Oh, I see
Oh,
what you're
that's
saying.
good. That's fair.
That's funny because I was gonna say Derek. Derek's definitely on top of the Mini. You're a jerk.
You would
You're a
lose.
jerk. You're a jerk. You
You're
don't
a
have
jerk.
my back. I have yours. This is not going to work out in the ring. You're going to be that manager. I'm going to finally have the Mini
I see
pinned
it.
on his back.
Yep.
1, 2, and then Derek's going to kick in the back of the head on me. I'm going to roll, and
Yeah.
the Mini's going to win.
Storyline.
Storyline.
Yeah.
I'm writing your whole show.
I like it. Or he's going to trip
Yeah.
you up as you're running through the ropes. He thinks it's the other guy. I see it right now.
Oh, it's like
Get me my
he's-
pen.
He's not really against me. He's just really bad at his job. He's
Yeah.
bad at supporting me.
Yep, that's it.
That's even better.
Yeah.
I like it. Top or bottom, number 4. Did I say that already? I apologize. Soap opera storyline or larger than life character?
Ooh. Wow. All right. So if you have a larger than life character, they're going to transcend any storyline and make it better. So I got to say they're on top.
Give me an example of the biggest character.
The Rock.
Is The Rock bigger than Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
Yeah, he surpassed Hulk
He's
Hogan.
the most famous wrestler ever.
He is, just because of what he's done and how he's been able to transcend into the entertainment industry. I mean, he's
Yeah.
a bona fide A-lister. No disrespect to Hogan.
Hogan had Thunder Nights.
Well, he's also
Thunder
had
Bay, Thunder
Mr.
Bay.
Nanny.
Mr.
Come on, that's a great one. And
Steve,
a whole list of other ones.
Why am I drawing a blank?
Stone Cold.
This guy.
Oh, John Cena.
John Cena.
So it's weird, right? Because
He's
they
pretty big.
all, Cena's huge, right? I'm just saying from an overall entertainment perspective, The Rock.
Yeah,
just
I'd say
because
The Rock,
he's
too.
broken box office records. Nobody's been able to do what he's been able to do. And Hogan has done a million things in the wrestling world and also in the entertainment world too. But overall, I got to say The Rock.
Interesting tidbit. Sidney Lesperance.
Cha-ching.
You can fact check this one too, but Hulk Hogan turned down the George Foreman grill.
Yes.
Oh, I heard that. I've heard that.
We're
yeah.
almost positive
Yep.
that's
I
true.
think I've
Yes.
heard, yeah.
Yeah, was that in his book or something like that? I recall hearing that
Was
as
it?
well.
It came across my radar somewhere.
You've heard it here
Oh, why? Who? From who?
from us.
Who though?
We've said it before.
I've said it before.
That's, I guess, where I've heard it from.
All
Yeah.
right, Frankie, what do you think?
I think the storyline helps create the larger than life character. So I'm going to go storyline on top.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I agree. I think I agree with Alex. The larger than life, because you got to know who that person is, and you could be like, they were able to do this, and then the storyline comes maybe after that, kind of thing.
Yeah, there's no question, right? Like, no matter what WrestleMania or what Lucha Libre show I may be at, the storyline, if it's good, that's really great. But there's nothing like when that dude comes out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Really
the
gets you
larger
going.
than life character.
I think it's so cool about wrestling how it has this. It's this own world, and like everyone with the signs, and like someone comes out and they just yell this one word constantly. There's like this pop culture thing that happens within the wrestling
Oh, yeah.
arena. It's like what was the one guy? Someone would say something after everything he said, they would just go, "What?"
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Is it what or is it?
It's what?
It's
yeah.
what.
Yeah.
So
And that's
awesome.
just it. Stuff catches on, and then all of a sudden, you just want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Does that write itself though, or
Right. That's my
Sometimes. So sometimes it's so interesting, right? Sometimes a wrestler will just say something and it just catches on for catching on, and then sometimes it is scripted and all of a sudden it's gangbusters, and then sometimes it falls flat.
But you can't script call and response, right? Like how did the crowd start to
just
chant
do it.
back?
You can try, and it's so interesting, right? Because sometimes you can see when it's really organic and stuff just really starts to catch on and people are just with it, and then sometimes you can see when it's really forced and the wrestler's like, I said this, and then nothing, right? So yeah, they try, and you just never know sometimes.
And it's also got to be the wherewithal of that wrestler to go with it when it does happen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You
Oh,
have to have
100%.
that mindset.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine that what thing, like how it organically started, and maybe they just did it and he just kept going and going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if he didn't have the wherewithal to do that, it never would have been a thing. And I'm sure there's a lot of that in wrestling, right?
Now-
You gotta have bad actors too.
Oh yeah, and look, that's a case in point. Austin was able to take that and make it into something. So then he made that into part of his persona and part of the story, and they went with it because it grew. So case in point, a larger than life
Yeah.
character taking something and just making it into something else.
Did the Rock make up? Like, did someone write? All right, you're gonna say Rudy Poo Candy Ass, Rolly, whatever it is. Did someone write that, or he made that up himself?
That I don't know, but I can tell you that The Rock is so super creative and so just on top of it and gets it. And he is one of the coolest guys you can ever work with. So humble, witty, and
That's
I mean
awesome.
that
I've
is
heard
him.
that from people.
Yeah, that
Not
is
the
when
only
you see
one.
him. That is him turned up.
Yeah.
A couple notches, and he'll even say that. But it's just there's something magical about when he goes out there and how he captivates the audience.
And he has that show you love on HBO now.
Ballers.
Oh, Ballers. That's a good show.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
It's good. It's like
not
football
good.
entourage.
It is like football.
You know who's
Entourage.
great at Rob Corddry? He's great.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was disappointed. Is it coming back for season 2?
Hell yeah.
I want it to be better.
I think it is back for
You know
season two,
what
yeah.
they're missing?
Wait,
I'll
I
tell you
think
what they're
it's been
missing.
2 seasons.
Yeah.
Oh well, I missed the second season. I got
Dude, you got to watch it. It's good.
You know what they're missing in my world anyway is that my fiance didn't get sucked in. They need that. They need the. It's got to be because it is like Entourage, but males and females watched Entourage together. It had everything. It had the sex.
Yeah.
It's missing that one thing where they don't want to watch it with you.
kind of more of a
Do you find
dude
that,
show.
Anybody find that to be true?
Yeah, it's more of a dude show, I think. I think you're right, but it's good.
Well, in my household, that matters. You know what I mean? Top bottom number 5 in the ring or in the executive office.
Oh,
Because you used to wrestle.
Ring, yeah, in the ring. There's nothing like being out there, the crowd going nuts. They're there to have a good time. You're there to have a good time, and whether you're a good guy or a bad guy, you're just feeling it, man. There's nothing like that feeling. It's incredible.
All right, sorry. We'll wait till we go around.
You have no respect for Frankie's knowledge.
No, I did. That's why I stopped.
You are actually kind of slow to get to the microphone as well.
I'm sorry. I had questions about before, but I feel like we're past it with this
You can never go back.
baller conversation and all sorts of stuff. But I mean, the action happens in the ring, right?
I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna
Well,
go.
the
I'm gonna go with that.
coming from your perspective, you're much
I
better at the
know.
executive office.
I know,
should
but
never
I-
unmuted your microphone today. I didn't touch it. Keep going.
I think that I agree. Personally, I would choose. I prefer the executive office, but the action happens in the ring, and that's where that's where you get the excitement and the energy and the enthusiasm. So in the ring.
Yeah, I agree. I'd rather be in the ring but I guess in the executive office is also like the writers and all that stuff doing that, which is cool. But yeah, in the ring. What was your wrestling? What was your character's name, or did you have multiple?
Yeah, I had multiple, but my last one, my longest run, was the A-list Alex Is, and I was kind of a Hollywood hotshot. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that.
Did you ever get what was your signature move?
The Big Break.
Big break.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
What was the big break?
The Big Break, I had a couple of them, actually. I would take a guy kind of like almost like an RKO or diamond cutter by the head, and then I'd jump up and smash him right into my knee, knock him out, get the 1, 2, 3.
Man, but did you ever accidentally actually do that and really hurt the guy?
No, fortunately.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to happen.
I'm
It
sure.
does.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it does. I mean, we've all gotten bumps and bruises, and accidents happen, right? I mean, we're trained
It's full
professionals.
contact, but
yeah.
In the ring is clearly on top for me. Like I love producing things, but when you're in the heat of, pen to paper is great, but when you bring that paper to screen, or theater. I love that.
It's that rush, right?
Yeah. So let's talk about this a little bit more. So again, this Saturday, April 16th at the House of Independence, Asbury Park on Cookman Avenue, is the Superkick Lucha Libre kickoff, right? I mean, I don't mean to just add that kickoff in there, but it's the number one. It's the first time. We're going to be hopefully a monthly show in there. So we're gonna come see this every month and watch this storyline grow.
And already booked for May 7th.
Right?
That's true. Already got a match booked for May 7th.
So I think everybody should come out and see this. Like, I mean, this is gonna be awesome.
Plus, it's something. That's one of the things I like about what Asbury's doing in the House of Independence. It's different. Like you could go to it and it's right on the strip. You go to a bar, go to dinner, and then hey, let's go watch this wrestling show.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, it's different.
Good price point. Like it's gonna be a good time. So when we come into this first show, all right, give me something, right? Like these PBR listeners that are gonna come out, give them a little bit of knowledge that other people aren't going to have. Give us a spoiler.
So, one thing I want to tell you, when you come to the show, one of the things that we encourage is we want people to go and get dressed up. Like, how much fun is it to put on a cape and a mask yourself and go to a show, right?
I did it just before, and I had a blast for 5 seconds. I was like in it. Right?
Exactly. So that's part of it. We want people to come out and be a part of that kind of Rocky Horror experience where people really get dressed up, and it's fun to be part of that world and feel like you're a part of it. And we have masks there too, so if you don't have a mask, you can pick one up at the show. But we really want people to come and get dressed up because it adds that extra element of fun of being part of the show.
And do you want people, yelling out things and stuff? Like you want the
they're there to have a good time and express themselves and be a part of it, and we're going to encourage a ton of that. So literally throughout the course of the night, the fans are going to be involved and they're going to be a part of the show. So it's not like you're just going to sit there and watch a wrestling show and clap and maybe cheer. No, there's stuff that's going to happen that you're going to want to get out of your seats. The music is great. You're going to have a lot of recognizable tracks, things that you can dance to, sing along to, things where you might be handed a prop. You want a little spoiler? You might be handed a prop that might allow you to get involved in it a little bit more. So it's going to be full of surprises. You just never know what's going to happen. And at the end of the night, I can guarantee you that you're going to say, I've never experienced anything like that, and I cannot wait to go back. And then you'll want your friends to go with you because it's going to be equally more fun when you bring other people that you can, joke around with and then talk about the experience that you had.
That's awesome.
Are you from here? Are you local?
From Jersey, yeah.
Have you been to 10th Avenue Burrito?
No, but I keep hearing about this thing. I might have to hit it up today.
You're gonna have to. I mean, it's you guys should be partnered up somehow. Like I don't,
There's one in Red Bank too now.
It is all Lucha Libre.
That's amazing.
It's Mexican American cuisine.
That's awesome.
But on the walls is all Lucha Libre masks. Right?
Tex Cali, like that whole.
Nice. So they have one in Red Bank. Where's the other one?
Right here in Belmar. It's 5 minutes away from.
Really?
It seems like a natural fit.
Oh well, I'll be swinging by there today. Get some burritos and chips and guac. Absolutely.
So I'm excited, man. So you tell us how we can work in, and we're in.
Oh, we'll
Can
talk.
we kill off Derek like the first show?
Well, you kind of got to build to that. I can't let the cat out of the bag. Then nobody's going to go.
What if we kill him off the first show and then we bring him back as like
a ghost?
Yeah.
Like we could do that. Game of Thrones, we could bring him back. No, we could do flashbacks.
Yeah. Right. Theatrical flashbacks.
Yes.
That's great.
But they
do have the stage.
That's like what they did in back like one of the soap operas. Like people would die, but come back.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't Breaking Bad do that? Didn't they have like flashbacks? Am I thinking of?
They would start the season with the last shot, and then they would work to it.
Yeah. So it can definitely be done.
Yeah.
I like that.
Who shot Derek? Just like out of JR. Who shot JR? Who shot Derek?
Yeah, because I people shot me because I won every match. You would lose all your matches because you suck.
I think you get killed off by death by burrito.
See,
like
Alex,
they overfeed
I think
him.
these larger than life characters, they should leave the soap opera storyline telling to you.
We're
just show up,
fun,
and
I like
design
it.
their
See where it goes.
I'm just saying what all of the PBR posse wants to do. They want to kill off Derek. Maybe we should kill you off on our podcast.
No, that's not going to happen.
I don't know. You don't think bad storyline?
We're going to have to talk about it.
We need
We're gonna
better
have to talk
writers.
about it.
Now, do we have to?
Get Jay Miller on the phone.
Would we have to wear a mask?
I don't know. That's a good question. So your Lucha Libres obviously are wearing masks.
Yep.
Do the outside or bad guys or visiting wrestlers always have a mask?
Yeah, for the most part, everybody is masked. But again, you just never know what's going to
You
happen.
never know what's going to happen.
Right.
Is it like a big insult, like if another wrestler rips off the mask of another guy?
Oh yeah, that's
Oh, you
like
show the
you
face?
just smacked his mom's face. That's
Oh.
exactly what it is.
I would have got away for it.
Yeah.
It wasn't you pesky kid.
First
Old
off-
man Withers.
It's always old man Withers.
Yeah.
It's a disqualification. First off.
If you rip it off.
Oh, yeah.
Or if it comes off.
No. If you rip it off,
If you rip
it's
your
a
own off.
disqualification. No. If you rip your opponent's mask off,
that's
Like
automatic
Nice.
disqualification. Yeah, they don't play around.
Can I make an honest suggestion? And I apologize if I'm stepping over the line, Zoe. But is there anywhere we can see these rules, though? Because as a first-time viewer, I would have never have known that. It might have, or does it just come out in theater?
It will come out. We will have it there at the very top of the show. We're going to explain the rules so that people know, oh, okay, this is what this is.
right.
And so that there's no, because we understand,
Yeah.
it's 100% right. This is the first time you're watching Lucha, and Lucha is different than pro wrestling, and our rules are a little bit different. So we have to educate the audience.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do. We're going into this knowing that this is a completely different audience,
Yeah.
and we're catering it to a wider demographic of people that may not be pro wrestling fans. So they need to learn the rules so that the second we see the action, they understand what's going on.
Right, because I imagine, I don't know, I want to say 50% of the people that are going to come out to the House of Independence and see Superkick, it might be their first time seeing a Lucha Libre show.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and hopefully they'll dig it and keep coming back and say, "Oh, this is great." Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about: getting people to say, "That was so much fun. I never thought of liking pro wrestling or anything like that, but that show is just so entertaining. I got to come back and see it again."
Nice.
I'm pumped up for it.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
When's the last time you heard that sound?
Oh man, when I was connecting to AOL back in the day.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's everybody's it's either that or fax machine.
Yeah, people have said fax machine
You know
too.
what I mean? Do you remember your AOL Instant Messenger screen name?
Oh yeah. I think I still have AOL email addresses.
This guy,
Don't say it.
he will nail it. He'll get pretty close.
Well, no, I mean, I've guessed. We always ask the guest this now, and haven't I gotten it right like
Go for it, man.
twice?
Go for it. He's gonna guess it. I bet he comes pretty damn close.
You put too much pressure on me, but you're always into wrestling, right?
Yep.
Don't tell me if it was like a wrestling thing or something. Was it like did you have like the word of not amazing Alex, but like something like Alex, like a double A thing? Was it or something?
No.
No.
You're shit in the bed.
Was it your last name
Yeah, actually, I did have my last name for a while.
and a number?
No, it was just my last name for a while because you know how you used to get 10 screen names?
Yeah.
So I had a different screen name for a different portion of like business. So like I'd have my pro wrestling email and then I have my business email and what. So I did use my last name for a while. So technically you're correct.
Nah, I could have
So what
done
was
better.
your main one?
So here's the thing. I won't give it out because I still use the email
Oh,
address.
all right.
But I'll tell you the story about it. Funny thing is, I was going to use something wrestling related, but I couldn't because it was taken. So I'm like, oh man, and I was trying all sorts of different
This
combinations.
is for your AOL instant messenger name. Or
Yeah,
just-
exactly. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to put a 317 whatever after it just because it's annoying.
Yeah.
So I was listening to this song called Daisy Dukes. It was a rap song.
Look at that girl with the Daisy
Yes!
Dukes on. Oh, what you do?
Exactly. Exactly. I love that song. So I don't know what
Don't
inspired
get
me.
PBR singing.
But I took a name from that song and I'm like, that's my screen name. Let me see. Boom. That became my screen name. I've had it ever since. I still use the email address.
That's awesome.
Daisy Duke.
Right?
So I'm sorry.
Oh, I love that
That's a
song,
bad
man.
life choice.
Who sang that?
I want to say
what
it
rapper was
was.
It wasn't Luke.
No, it was Two Live Crew. Look at that girl with the
Was it
Daisy Dukes.
Luke's
Oh, who she really got going. Oh, right.
Yeah, what's two left crew?
No, 69 Boys.
69,
69
yeah.
boys.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Cindy Lesperance.
Cha-ching.
You've
Yeah,
got,
put down
you've got
pretty-
you working this
Yeah.
episode. So that sound that we just played for you, that AOL Instant Messenger dial-up modem, indicates armchair futurist, right? Pizza and the beer is what gets us in the room, but
Okay.
it's all about the revolution of our guests. So the year is 2050. You're sitting back ringside, and you're looking at the Lucha Libre or wrestling industry. What does it look like in the year 2050?
Oh, I think it's going to be just completely different than what it is. I mean, the core will remain the same. You're still going to have in-ring action, but I think we're going to live in a digital world where the arenas going to look completely futuristic with lights, sound, and everything is going to be digital. we're going to be broadcasting in digital. VR is huge, obviously.
Oh,
so
yeah.
everything is going to head in that direction. And there's no doubt that it's going to be basically what we thought of the future. You're going to have probably wrestlers coming out the ring in platforms in certain events. The ring itself on the bottom will be LED screens as opposed to just the regular skirts. There's just going to be so much more technology that goes along with it that it's just going to be out of this world.
Does there come a point like many people have sat in that chair from many industries, and we ask the same question to everyone. And when you're discussing like comedians and anything theatrical, the question always kind of arises: will it ever eliminate the need to actually be there? You mentioned 3D
sure.
Oculus Rift.
Yep.
Do you see that coming to not just wrestling, but live entertainment?
Well, that's a great point. I think that's the way we're headed, because if you've ever experienced one of these VR devices,
You're in there. You're there. You're just
it's life-changing. It really is. And that sounds extreme, but it is so true, because you can literally head to different parts of the world and you're literally experiencing that in that moment. And it's so surreal and real that when you take it off, you're disappointed.
Yeah.
So they're broadcasting obviously live sports right now with it. I know they're experimenting a lot with basketball, and it's really the next evolution of entertainment. So what's going to be cool is I don't think that people will want to stop going, because there's something about feeling that energy of being there. But I think it's going to open up the world for people who are like in different countries to be able to experience that. And it's like you're there with other people. So it's amazing the way that we're headed, in my opinion.
If I'm wearing the Oculus Rift and I'm walking through the streets of London, does it still smell?
Oh.
Sorry, London. I love you so much. Alex, thank you so much for coming out, man. We're very excited to see this show. Superkick. I can't wait. Like, I honestly am pumped up to see it. So good luck. It's going to be kick-ass, man. Real quick, let's plug it one more time on the way out.
Alrighty, so it is Saturday, April 16th at the House of Independence. It's going to be unlike anything you've ever experienced. Theater and Lucha Libre Mexican-style wrestling combined. Outrageous storylines. You fans, are very much a part of the show. We want you to come dressed, get excited, get involved, and it's something that you're going to want to come to month after month after month. So make sure to check out superkickit.com for the information.
Nice. Derek D.
Superkickit.com.
DerekD.com. It's refreshed.
Hey, he said it.
Maybe we get Derek in that ring. You never know. PizzaBeerRevolution.com. You can find us on the web. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram us, Periscope. Give us some love and we'll love you back. Thanks again, man.
Thanks. My pleasure. Thank you, guys.